says it's okay for Gwyneth Paltrow to say nigga. It's not okay. And she better goop that. It's not okay. Oh my God. Listen. Be mindful of who you're around. Be mindful of the energy that words carry, because words do carry energy. Be mindful of even who you want to be out there, or who you want to perceive to be out there in this world. Be mindful of your when you say you're an ally to a group, what that really means. You know, be mindful that especially, and a lot of times I think it's very easy for marginalized groups to disenfranchise each other, so I just want you to be aware. I'm not saying to change anything about what you do. You do whatever you have to do, because everything you do carries an energy with it, right? So you do what you have to do. I'm just saying, think about it this way. All right. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come right back and set the table, because this week, baby, we're putting the con in confidence. Hey, this is Gail from A Seat at the Table podcast. Now, you already know that Anchor is the easiest way for you to record. We already know that. You already know that Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free. They'll distribute your podcast to all the major labels, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcasts, and you can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Listen. I understand that you girls are out here spending money on studios and what have you, but if you're smart, you'll download Anchor app right now. Go to anchor.fm to get started. Tell them A Seat at the Table podcast sent you. And we are back. So this week we are setting the table for confidence, honey. But honestly, we're going to have to put the con in confidence. Yo, listen. For those of you who think gospel music has gone too... No, really. For those of you who are kind of caught up in this age of manipulation and confidence or lack thereof, I wanted to bring forth to you this week something that I thought was really interesting. And that's the fact that there's such a con in what we consider to be confidence nowadays, right? I mean, think about it. I saw Kylie Jenner confidently just sing to her daughter, which is, normally a private moment, but a private moment that you probably would just have in the confines of your house and never feel even remotely close to being confident enough to display that kind of behavior in front of the general public, because you would feel like, oh my God, like I wouldn't want nobody to hear me. But it was so funny to me that the con in her confidence was that we all feel like she can do it because of who she is, because of her money and her status. We all feel like, oh, she could do that shit. Why wouldn't we expect an album from her? Not because she has any talent or any know-how, but because she can. So I started to think about, are we putting the con in confidence? Now, the word con is a Latin word for against, aka what the root word of the term con artist basically also coming to so con artist, the words itself has its derivative from the word confidence, basically meaning that you're using manipulation to provide some sort of insight or behavioral aggression against someone, or whatever the case is. Taking advantage of a situation because of some sort of crazy behavior. At any rate, there's a book by Wilson B. Key called The Age of Manipulation, The Con in Confidence. And in the book, it talks about how we're basically being manipulated in this current world structure about what confidence actually is. A lot of us think that there are certain behaviors that are associated with confidence, and it would probably be the exact behaviors that go against the grain of what we would actually think it is. So for a lot of people, it would be the person who has the most, the person who is most affluent, the person who has the ability to do more, have a vaster reach because of their financial status. So basically that person would have the home court advantage, basically having the space to feel most comfortable based on their money. And the thing that we all have to understand is that confidence does not come from an existential being, meaning that it definitely does not come from a place where it's going to be something outside of you. If we all understand anything about confidence, it's that it comes from self-worth, which is built on self-esteem, which comes from personal value, right? The other misnomer about confidence is that it normally comes from the person who is probably most talkative in the room. But the thing that exudes the most confidence is when you speak second and listen more. Nothing is more powerful than someone who can exist in stillness. I think a lot of people are even uncomfortable with the very idea of stillness existing. I think that sometimes the misnomer is that if you get into a room and you speak more and you are more like you're louder more, that would mean that you are, exuding the most power. And oftentimes that is the exact opposite of where confidence actually lies. The other thing about confidence is knowing that time is actually your friend, right? So there's confidence in knowing that time is not your energy. Time is not your enemy, You're not working against any specific clock in order to say that you've actually arrived. You have to make friends with time. If you're not friends with the present moment, that means that you're always going against the grain of life. Time is a friend to you, or time could be your mortal enemy. It just depends on how you use it. None of us are given more and or less time. Money doesn't actually give more time. There's a freedom that exists even when you are working, even when I am delivering a show, there's a freedom that exists because I'm using my time to do what I would like to do. And hopefully using my purpose and my design to enhance on a greater level. Which brings me to the next point. Confidence is about uplifting others. There is nothing more confidante than being able to extend your hand and give a reach to someone else. Bringing more people along for the ride doesn't make you weaker. Giving someone an opportunity or a chance doesn't make you weaker. It's just like the sermon from church today, y'all. We are better together. We can do that much more when we are working in partnership with each other, which I know is the complete antithesis of what you believe confidence is. Confidence is going it solo. Like, that's the con. That's the actual con, is that you even listen to music with people who are telling you, do it alone. It's about you being alone. It's about you being independent. It's about you doing it by yourself. That's how you know. That's how you know what? That you alone? Listen, there's nothing, fellowship, there's nothing more better. There's nothing more better than uplifting others. I promise you, if you set an intention to bring other people, to uplift other people as part of your design and purpose, I'm telling you, sky's the limit. Last but not least is communication. Now, a lot of people will raise their hand in agreement when it comes to this. Have you ever met someone who is a person of very few words, but a very effective communicator? Yeah. It doesn't take much for them to explain something to you or to tell you a story. You know, we all have that friend that like, oh, Jesus Christ, the story is going to take 5 million years. For me, that's my mom. If I am going to listen to a story from my mother, just know that bitch, oh my God, girl, the story is going to go on and on to the break of dawn, but doesn't necessarily leave me or impart with me anything that I needed to know. I love a person of few words, especially when they are able to use those words to effectively communicate. Doesn't mean few words and people don't understand you. It just means few words and people get it. So the real con and confidence is that, you know, niggas shouldn't have to say much. Don't say much. You shouldn't have to say much. You know, it's such a stupid misnomer, but that's one of the misnomers. That's one of the cons in confidence is that, oh, well, the less you have to communicate, the less you have to say, the better. People should know. Listen, there's nothing more confident than, and there's no more energy that exudes confidence than someone being able to effectively communicate. Listen, if you want to set the table for confidence for yourself, it really doesn't take much. Home court advantage for yourself, knowing that can't be bought. You provide the home court advantage. You set the energy for that. That has nothing to do with money. Speak second, listen more. Not that hard. Knowing that time is your friend to you, uplifting others, and finding effective communication. That's setting the table for confidence. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you. Peace.